Welcome back. Over 4,000 supporters are expected at Tshwane's Heartfelt arena for Rise Mzansi's Manifesto launch tomorrow. The party, which is barely a year old, will present what it calls a People's Manifesto while unveiling its political priorities, election campaign and legislative program. Rise Mzansi has 5 key tenants, namely political reform, public safety, economic growth, inclusion and justice, fighting corruption and climate crisis.
As the election year kicks off, Rise Mzansi, that was launched in April last year, is hitting the ground running, being the first party to launch its manifesto. The party says its support base has grown from a mere 10,000 to 200,000 people. It is led by former editor of the Business Day and former associate editor of the Financial Mail, Zibi. Other leaders include Makashule Gana, who once served as a DA youth leader, DA deputy federal chairperson, and a shadow minister of human settlements. Saturday's manifesto follows month-long engagements with communities across the country and policy engagements with various sectors. This culminated in the People's Convention at the Constitutional Hill in October last year, where a People's Declaration was adopted. The party characterizes itself as one with social democratic agenda, with the aim of taking forward the values of freedom, equality, integrity, solidarity and justice.
So the process that we undertook from the time that we announced ourselves was to go into communities. The manifesto was crafted with communities across all 9 provinces where South Africans indicated, one, the kind of South Africa that they want to live in, things that worries them. Prime, it's issues of hunger, the issues of safety. Many communities feel that they are unsafe. There are many issues around the struggles of single mothers, the issues of drug addiction in communities, the slow pace, or in some instances, services not being delivered on time, and how professional the public service has been. So these are some of the key issues, and also that there are a lot of South Africans who remain unemployed.
Despite being a new kid on the block, the party says it's confident it will gain seats in the various legislatures across the country and the National Assembly.
I'm very much confident as a chief organizer of Rise Mzansi that if an election was to be held tomorrow, Rise Mzansi will be in parliament. I'm confident standing here that Rise Mzansi will be in the Gauteng legislature. Confident standing here that Rise Mzansi will be in the Western Cape legislature. We are continuously growing in other provinces.
For now, Rise Mzansi is not entertaining any coalition talks as it's focused on the performance of the party at the polls.
Rise Mzansi will be on the ballot. We'll discuss coalitions after the elections. It's important for people to understand that I can't start as Rise Mzansi discussing coalitions before I get a single seat. Our focus is to win the hearts and minds of South Africans. Our focus is to interact with South Africans, ask them to back and vote for Rise Mzansi. That's what we are focusing on. Let's talk coalitions after the elections. When you say, Makashule, you have organized, you have got so many seats in Gauteng, now your seats can help form a government.
Of late, the party has attracted former DA members, including Nomsa Marchesi, and of late, Kume Ramolefo, who served as a member of the provincial legislature in Gauteng after spending close to 3 decades in the party. Move SA also announced that it would be contesting under the banner of Rise Mzansi. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Johannesburg.
For more on this, we're now joined by Chief Organizer for Rise Mzansi, Makashule Gana, and he joins us via video link. Makashule, thank you so much for joining us this evening here on SABC News. Of course, you are expecting 4,000 supporters to come to your manifesto launch tomorrow, which is taking place in Tshwane. Maybe if you can just tell us what went into preparing for this manifesto as a new kid on the block.
Thanks very much, Mbali, and a very good evening to your viewers. So this journey starts in April 2023, where as Rise Mzansi, we were in communities, we were meeting various sectors in society to help craft the People's Manifesto. In October last year, we convened a People's Convention that produced the People's Declaration. And from there, that's where the basis of the People's Manifesto comes from. And tomorrow, over 4,000 fellow South Africans will be converging at the Heartfelt Arena in Pretoria, where we will be launching the People's Manifesto as we gear towards the gear up for the 2024 elections. As you know, that as Rise Mzansi, we have boldly declared that 2024 is our 1994. It's important that we bring the necessary changes, the changes that will improve the living conditions of South African people.
And Makashule, let's talk about, the location in which you have chosen. I mean, we know that some venues are very synonymous with various political parties, and it's always about filling up an arena or filling up a stadium. Why did you select to have this manifesto launch in the capital?
So for us, in the choice of venue, it was important to be in the capital city of South Africa, being the seat of government. So we looked for venues in and around Pretoria, and we found a good venue, excellent venue actually, at the Heartfelt Arena, and that's where we will be. And it's a venue that will accommodate the over 4,000 fellow South Africans that will be joining us tomorrow.
And we understand, of course, your leader will be delivering what you have termed as the People's Manifesto. When it comes to your supporters, what exactly can they expect from that address?
What they should expect, it's solutions, it's answers to the problems that are facing South Africans. They should also expect to hear the solutions that they've also proposed. That can help South Africa, they can help their communities so that they can live in a safer environment, safer communities, and also where they will be able to improve their own individual living conditions so that they can also get to taste the fruit of South Africa's democracy.
And, looking at Rise Mzansi, this political party that is barely a year old, and, you claim to have at least 200,000 people who are supporting your political party and your movement. And Makashule, when it comes to the sort of supporters that Rise Mzansi enjoys, who are the supporters of Rise Mzansi?
It's in the main, it's South Africans that have been frustrated with the current political establishment, but those that refuse to give up on South Africa, those that say South Africa, it's our country, we recognize the potential of this country, and we cannot sit back and do nothing when our country is being stolen or when our country it's sinking. We have to do something. We need to rise, not only for ourselves, but also for the next generation, so that the next generation, they can inherit a South Africa that works, a South Africa that is safe, a South Africa that is equal, a South Africa that is more united, and where everyone can be able to live a happy and a dignified life.
And when it comes to the performance of Rise Mzansi, I mean, what are your expectations as a political party? And I'm going to point to the likes of the EFF. I mean, they are a party which is 10 years old, and in the last elections they've been known as the 10% party, but it has been a very long road to get to 10% as a political party. When it comes to the performance of Rise Mzansi, how well do you think you will do at this polls, considering the amount of political parties we have now? I mean, just in the past year, there's been so many of these political parties mushrooming everywhere. Do you think that you stand a chance?
As the chief organizer of Rise Mzansi, I'm very much confident that Rise Mzansi will be in Parliament. I'm very much confident that Rise Mzansi will be represented in many legislatures in our provinces. So I have no worry in terms of the number of political parties that we are competing with, but I have faith in the work of our organizers, in the work of our volunteers, in taking the message of Rise Mzansi to the communities, to the families, and to get them to rally behind Rise Mzansi. So as a chief organizer, I'm very much confident that Rise Mzansi, when the votes are counted, Rise Mzansi will be in parliament and Rise Mzansi will be in many legislatures in South Africa.
If someone at home is watching this interview and maybe is enticed by what you're saying, why should South Africans, come and watch or attend your manifesto launch tomorrow in Tshwane?
South Africans must watch our manifesto launch tomorrow so that they can hear the solutions that comes from South Africans themselves. Because this People's Manifesto was not crafted by ourselves as the leadership of Rise Mzansi, but it was crafted with and by the people of South Africa. So it's a culmination of all the inputs that we have received in the community meetings that we convened with South Africans in all 9 provinces. So South Africans must tune in and watch the SABC tomorrow so that they can see for themselves that the inputs that they've given during the conversations that we had in communities has made their way into the People's Manifesto. And we do this because it's not only about us, but we do this for the people of South Africa.
And Makashule, Rise Mzansi is one of the very few political parties that have launched their manifestos very early on in the year. And perhaps maybe if you can just tell us, what does your program look like leading up to the elections? We still don't know when those elections will be taking place. I mean, we still need to hear from the president himself when they are most likely to take place and South Africans can cast their ballot. But when it comes to your program and what it looks like for this year, if you can just indulge us on that.
So tomorrow we will launch the People's Manifesto. On Sunday, we prepare for the upcoming registration weekend that will take place the weekend of the 3rd and 4th of February. And after the registration weekend, it's a full-on campaigning on our side where we'll be knocking on many doors across all 9 provinces in South Africa and encouraging South Africans to rally behind, asking South Africans to support Rise Mzansi, to vote for Rise Mzansi. Whatever day that the president announced, Rise Mzansi on that day will be ready to have party agents in all voting stations to ensure that the votes of the South Africans are never stolen. So for us, it's the launch, and then we go on a full campaign mode.
Makashule, thank you so much for your time this evening. It's a pleasure talking to you. That is Makashule Gana. He is Chief Organizer for Rise Mzansi, telling us more about that manifesto launch, which is taking place tomorrow, and it will be held in Tshwane. Let's take a quick ad break. We'll have more news for you when we return. Stay with us.